Man, what do we have here? We have the Sharp by Design Mini Evo. It's just an incredible knife, man. I think, what are they running? 3 something probably, something like that. This detent by itself is worth 3 something. Just the detent. If you could just buy just the detent, just the part of the blade where the detent goes in and then the detent part on the handle. So just this little area right here, if you just buy that, that's worth 300 bucks. This is the best detent on any knife I've ever messed with. And I've messed with a lot of knives, a lot of cool ones, you know, the Shiro and all that shit. This detent, let's listen to it. Listen to it. You hear the pop before the opening sound? It's just crazy. It feels like a little thing of glass just snapping. Or like, since I'm here in Iowa at the Iowa Knife Museum and it's freezing outside and there are icicles hanging from the roof, it reminds me of snapping a little thin icicle. Snap when the detent pops. Luckily here at the Iowa Knife Museum, there are quite a few icicles that I can use to demonstrate the snap of that Evo detent. So listen, that's it. Let me try it in slow motion. It's just perfect. It couldn't get any better. I don't think there's a way to make it any better. I think when someone thought of the idea of a knife detent that would let it, you know, not open unless you wanted it to, and then someone showed them this, they would just piss their pants because it just defies awesome explanation. Defies explanation because it's so awesome. Some shit like that. Look at that. Clip has some little scratchies on it. We need to get that worked out so this thing looks a little prettier. This is a museum property, so not mine. I will have one day. If not the mini, the full size. I'd probably rather have the full size. Not that this is too small. This is a great size, but I just like bigger knives. And I feel like if I'm going to spend that much money, which is a lot for me, for sure, then I would want the little bit bigger one. I think the bigger one has like a 3.5, 3.6 inch blade, something like that. But yeah, I'd have this one all day too. It's just, you know, it's not quite drop shutty, but it's just the tiniest shake and it goes down. I wonder if a little oil, you know what? I don't know if this guy's ever been oiled right on the detent area. Let's give the detent a little bit of the good stuff, the super syrup. Let's try that. Or do we want to use nano oil? Nano oil or super syrup? It's nice to have choices. The museum keeps all the good stuff, man. So I'm thinking the nano oil. So let's give it a little, just a drop, just the littlest, tiniest drop right there. And see if that does anything to the drop shuttiness. That's one of the main things I've done to knives to help them be a little more drop shutty is just chuck a little oil on them because sometimes they just don't have any oil. So they're rubbing metal on metal. And if they had a little oil, they'd definitely be more drop shutty and end up being that way sometimes just from putting a little oil in and then working it back and forth so that it goes to the right places. All right, let's try it. Nothing noticed. Well, nah, I'd say it's 10% better. You know, yeah, I'd say it's a little better, but not. It's not drop shutty yet. So the oil didn't do it. The fancy oil didn't do it. I doubt if we could put skiff bearings in here that would do it. I think it just has some good pressure coming in from that lock bar. It's enough to keep it from being drop shutty. Just enough. But man, it helps it open with the most authority. Yeah, let me see, can I fail it? Yeah. Let me try it going straight up. Yep. So I can fail it if I go straight up and just give it the least amount of pressure. But if I kind of just let my finger go free, no, you can't fail it. It's just too awesome. It's too awesome to fail. This thing is great, man. What a knife. Pocket clip. I don't love how flat the end of the pocket clip is. I wish they would have curved it up a little more on the underside. But, you know, that's easily remedied if you, have a sander or anything, just some hand sandpaper, and you want it a little more roomy there to get into the pocket. Let's see. I carried it in my fifth pocket for a while. And it goes in okay. It's okay. A little tight too. So because it is so tight and has that little bumper there, that's one of the, probably the only negative I have to say about it. That flipper tab's a little big, but it's just part of the charm of it. You know, it's just part of the coolness of it. If it didn't have that, it would be a little boring. So I wouldn't get rid of that if I could, but I can't anyway, because it ain't mine. And I really thank the Iowa Knife Museum for
this episode sponsored by the Iowa Knife Museum.
Cool knives, especially ones like this.
We're knife collectors too, just like
I'll have one day, but I don't have one at the present, and I can't afford one at the present.
Discounts available for schools and church organizations.
Having one loaned to me to check it out is immensely helpful.
Check out our knife loan program for knife reviewers. It's online.
Why is that Detent so good?
At www.iowanifemuseum.org.
Instead of being a ball bearing,
knife loaner program,
usually a ceramic ball bearing that's pressed down into a hole in this lock bar.
Ask about our discounts for seniors and military personnel.
Into a hole in the blade that's right about
as well as first responders.
And as you
our
press
hours of
flipper
operation
or
are
whatever,
Mondays, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
It has to raise that
Tuesdays,
little,
8 a.m.
out of the
to
hole
7:30 p.m.
Continue on, and that's what the Detent is. On this one,
Wednesdays, we're closed for corn shucking.
Ball. What it has is a little...
Thursdays, 5 a.m. to noon.
That little white line.
Then we reopen at 4 o'clock
that little white
stay
line
open till midnight
a
for nighttime knife time.
Kind of little mini mountain that sticks up.
Fridays, we're open 24 hours.
Half moon piece that sticks up, and it falls into a little hole in the blade. So
Saturdays, we open at 1 p.m. because everyone has a hangover.
Some videos on exactly how
closing time is
how it works, but
6 p.m.
What I know is it ain't like the other knives, man. That Detent is something special. So
Sundays we're closed because everyone goes to church.
Get your hands on one if you can. If you just like to have, if your thing is, man, I like my knife to have this nice crisp, like target trigger on a gun type action. This is what you want, man. You got to try to grab one of these. Sharp by Design, Mini Evo. Have a nice day.